If you're ready for some Raiders football, hit that like button. Coming up here on the Raiders Report, I'm dropping an early schedule release for the Silver and Black. Our leaked Las Vegas Raiders 2026 schedule is presented by Prize Picks. Make sure that you use code HMA for $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. So I will be live here in a little bit on the Raiders Report once this schedule does become officially official. But based on rumors, based on what the reports are right now, my team and I have put together this schedule, and this is the Clint Kubiak Raiders 2026 schedule. Week 1, you open up against the Miami Dolphins, and then you got the AFC West rivalry against the Chargers. Saints, Week 3, Week 4 up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Give me some FKCs down below. Week 5 against the New England Patriots. There's going to be some storylines there. Will Mike Vrabel be a coach? I don't know. Week 6 against the Buffalo Bills. Week 7 against the Rams. And then, we get to see Geno Smith. Week 8 on the road against the New York Jets. Coming in here from Week 9, if you plan on going to the Bay, 49ers. Week 9, let's freaking go. Week 10, going up against the Seattle Seahawks. Clint Kubiak gets to go up against his old team. Then, Week 11 against the Denver Broncos. Week 12 against the Cleveland Browns. Very, very late bye week here, but I kind of like it because it allows us to help us get ready to go for this final push to this season. You got the Chargers in Week 14, the Broncos in Week 15. So that bye week, you get prepared for 2 AFC West showdowns. Week 16 up against the Tennessee Titans, and then Week 17 against the Arizona Cardinals, and the Raiders will end their season on the road in Arrowhead against the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's freaking go, man. I'm fired the F up right now. So what we're going to be doing here on the show is I'm going to run through and I'll ask you guys game by game. I'll kind of just go in a little bit more depth around each one of those football games. But real talk, I want to know down below how many games you think the Raiders are going to end up winning. Truthfully, I'd be really, really curious to see what you guys have to say in that. So let's break down here Week 1 against Miami. Will Fernando Mendoza, will it be Kirk Cousins? Definitely going to be something to monitor. Both teams got brand new head coaches. Fernando grew up in Miami. He just won a championship in Miami. And I said this on a video that I released on my social media. If you don't follow me, I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. But I was literally I almost wonder if this is some extra motivation for Fernando Mendoza to ensure that he's going to be ready to rock for that Week 1 football game. But I'm telling you this right now, man. Buckle it up. I can't wait to see how this one ends up going down. So again, then you got Week 2, Week 3, Week 4. We're going to kind of go through these by case situation. Week 2 against the Los Angeles Chargers. Week 3 against the Saints. This is the Saints home opener, by the way, so they're going to be really fired up for that one. We played the Chargers last year in Week 2. Hopefully it goes a lot better this time around. Then you got Week 4 again against the Kansas City Chiefs. You got Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be healthy by that time, and this is going to be an October game. Mahomes typically plays a lot better early on in the year. Now, we got the more games coming up here in just a moment, and I'll break them all down for you a little bit longer. But shout out to our other sponsor here on the program. It's SeatGeek. And, if you plan on going to any of these Raiders games this upcoming season, I hope if you rock with me and if you rock with my team here at Chat Sports, you use code CHAT10 because that's going to tell me you're the definition of a real one. Because when it's time to get out of the house, there's no better way and better option right now, especially for a ball game. Use code CHAT10 to get 10% off your next set of tickets. MLB is in full swing. The NBA and NHL playoffs are here. The NFL schedule, I just dropped it for you here for the Raiders. And once those games really start becoming officially official, I hope that you use the link that you're going to be able to find down in the comments, down in the description of today's show, and I hope that you take advantage of the awesome deals that we got for you. Again, chat 10 for 10% off your tickets on SeatGeek. But SeatGeek, they got your back because each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know that you're getting a good deal. And you guys know I'm a man that loves a good deal. So look for the green dots. Green dots mean good. Red means bad. And of course, I got that code for you guys. Use the code CHAT10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code CHAT10. Make sure you click the link in the description, download the app, and have the code automatically added to your account so you can make use of it later. Shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring the Raiders Report, and if you plan on going to any of the Raiders games that I'm talking about, make sure that you use code CHAT10 for 10% off your tickets. Let's keep it moving here on this Raiders 2026 schedule leak. You got Week 5, the New England Patriots, and this is going to be a big game. I know the Raiders last year, they went on the road up against New England, and we were able to get that win early on. Week 6 against the Bills, back-to-back AFC East type of games. Josh Allen is never an easy dude to go up against. Week 7 against the Rams, never an easy battle when you have Sean McVay. Matthew Stafford, maybe a little bit of a revenge game for us up against Devontae Adams. But, speaking of revenge games, I bet you Geno Smith's looking at Week 8, and he's got that bad boy circled. And you know what? I hope Geno Smith is still the quarterback of the New York Jets, because going into MetLife Stadium, my dad is a Jets fan. He's already talking to me about, hey, do you think that we could go to that game? My dad might end up going to this game, though he told me he would wear a Raiders Report shirt and a Jets hat, which would be something pretty freaking spectacular. But the bottom line is this. I can't wait to watch Week 8 against Geno Smith, and I hope the Raiders get the opportunity to go up against the quarterback they had last year. Though, thank you so much, Geno Smith, for allowing us to get Fernando Mendoza and Clint Kubiak. Let's go from Week 9 now to Week 12 here. Obviously, the Battle of the Bay. I'll keep saying it. If you plan on going to this game, please be smart. Please be responsible. I want more opportunities to get out there to the Bay. And, I've been talking to some members of Mount Raidermore. They're trying to get me to go out there. I did a meetup in San Jose this past year. We might do a giant Chat Sports Raiders 49ers meetup out there. So make sure you circle this weekend on your calendar, November 6th, November 7th, November 8th. It's going to be fireworks. But you got Brock Purdy, who worked a lot with Clint Kubiak. And I know Clint Kubiak, when I think of Kubiak, it's like, all right, well, he was with the Saints, he was with the Seahawks. You also got to remember, back in 2023, he was with that Kyle Shanahan regime as well. So, this is a little bit of a game where he's going back home there. Let's now keep it moving, Week 10 through Week 12 here. And again, this is a really interesting schedule for the Raiders, because you got a tough matchup. 49ers, Seahawks, Broncos is really difficult. And the Raiders, they have these stretch of games. And I'm not trying to say against the Browns is an easier matchup, but right now, the day that I'm recording this video on May 14th, this looks to be like the easiest matchup. But going up against the defending Super Bowl champs, going on the road then, up against Mile High, the Denver Broncos, Bo Nix, you got to bring your A game when you're going up against Sean Payton. And then that Week 13 bye to rest up and get ready to go that final back half of that season. But the reason why I want people to hit that subscribe button, because we're dropping this video way before I think anybody else is going to be dropping any videos around the Raiders schedule release. My team works their freaking you-know-what's off, and if anybody's ready to have some fun, we will be having some fun later on today. Hell, I might even go live a little bit earlier. I got my live show scheduled right now for 7 p.m. Eastern time, but now that I got this Raiders schedule out and about, I might just go live a little bit earlier. Make sure you're subscribed, y'all. And if you don't know, I will be live for every single Raiders game this upcoming season from Week 14 to Week 18. 3 out of your final 5 games are AFC West matchups. So, Chargers, Broncos, you better be healthy. You better be ready to go. Titans game is going to be a difficult one. Week 17 against Arizona. Week 18, though, you round this thing out with Kansas City, which kind of makes me laugh because the Raiders last year, final game, was against Kansas City. So, we're going to just put a bow on this show here. That's the Raiders 2026 schedule from top to bottom. Really, when I look at this one, don't get me wrong, Week 15 against Denver, I always just have that feeling when I look at Broncos games, because for me personally, the first Raiders game that I ever went to was back in 2019 in Oakland. It was the FAB game. It was the Antonio Brown game. And, I just remember that whole atmosphere. I remember how Raider Nation was showing up and showing out. Now, don't get me wrong. Oakland compared to Vegas is definitely a little bit of a different vibe, but you're talking about the team that won the AFC West Championship last season up against the Las Vegas Raiders, the team that, they made it to the AFC Championship game. But, call me crazy, I know the Chiefs were bad last season. They were. But anytime you get that opportunity to go up against Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, you got to be able to bring it, and you got to be able to get going. And they lost last season in Allegiant Stadium, and maybe it didn't all bother them all that much, but there is a part of me that wonders, is this Travis Kelce's final game? Did the NFL know? And if Travis Kelce's final game falls in the hands of Raider Nation, falls in the hands of the Silver and Black, I'm telling you this right now, I am going to be one happy camper. But if you can end the season strong, you're telling Raider Nation, you're telling the entire world that guess what, man? We're real. We deserve to be here, and I do hope that the Raiders finally show Raider Nation and they show the entire world that we are ready to rock and we are ready to frickin' roll, man. So after going through that entire schedule, I got to know from all of y'all out there, I want you to predict the Raiders' record in 2026. How many games do you think they're going to win? How many games do you think they're going to lose? Don't pull a Chuggs. Don't give me a tie. I don't want to see any ties, man. I don't need to see any ties down below. I'm going to hit you here with my answer, and I've kind of thrown this one out, a few different times on the program. I'm going to look at it, and you could probably look at it as if Mendoza starts right away or if Kirk Cousins starts right away. I'm just going to look at it in this regard. I'm going to say the Raiders this season are going to win 8 games. Far too often, I'm like, oh, we're going to win 10, we're going to win 9. Even 8 games, I think, is a lot of games considering how bad we were last season. This is a good football team, and if you get a few right bounces, you win a few games that maybe you shouldn't, right? Like we won week 1 against New England last season. We're going to be much more competitive. And because I believe that we're going to be much more competitive, I'm going to go with 8 wins. But if we only win 7, if we win 9, that's awesome. I'm hoping for the best case scenario for the Raiders. But in order for us to win that 9, 10, 11 games, you need Fernando Mendoza, Kirk Cousins to play well. You need Ashton Genty to play well. You need Brock Bowers to play well. Hell, you probably even need a guy like Trey Tucker to step up. You need your offense. You need your defense. It's going to take all men, all hands on deck here. And if you agree with anything that I said today, I know that we're kind of rambling. We're ripping through this video right now because I'm hyped up that we got the Raiders schedule 2-3 hours before the NFL ended up releasing it. Shout out to my team again, and if you like anything that we do here, I hope they give me a follow on Instagram, Twitter, at Mitchell Renz 365. Before I hop on out of here, and before we roll through this schedule one more time, shout out to our other sponsor, our presenting sponsor. Here on today's show, it's Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app out there. It's available in 50 states. You make player, team, and culture picks. And if you use code HMA, you're going to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. So we were talking about what it's going to take for the Raiders to be a great team. Well, I don't have exactly a lineup for you guys today, but I at least wanted to be able to show you what exactly you could put your more or less on for certain players. And again, I got to be clear. This is not a lineup of mine. You can follow me on PrizePicks at Mitchell Renz 365, but this isn't a lineup because you need another player from another team. It can't just be Raiders players. But like Ashton Genty, the rushing yards, they've actually gone down since the last time that I've seen. Brock Bowers more. That's actually gone up since the last time that I've seen it. Fernando Mendoza, this was 6.5. Now it's 8.5 games for the more. And I haven't seen Trey Tucker yet being featured on PrizePicks. So 599.5 receiving yards. If you're looking at some of those numbers, you're like, oh, that's a more, that's a less. Put your money where your mouth is. This link is going to be available to y'all down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. And again, shout out to PrizePicks. Make sure that you use code HMA to get $50 instantly in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. So let's run through this mother effer one more time. You got the Dolphins, week 1 at home. Week 2 on the road against the Chargers, though. I mean, that's basically a home game. Week 3 against the New Orleans Saints, though, you better be ready because the Superdome, I'm still going to call it the Superdome, it's going to be rocking. That's their home opener. Week 4 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Anytime KC comes to Allegiant, I expect to see a lot of silver and black in the stands. Week 5 on the road against the New England Patriots. Week 6 against the Buffalo Bills. Week 7 against the Los Angeles Rams. And then that Week 8 revenge game against Geno Smith. I can't wait to see it go down in MetLife. And yes, I was one time a Jets intern. I was the guy shooting T-shirts into the stands. You know what? If I could be that guy now, I'd probably shoot one of those t-shirts right at Geno Smith. Week 9 against the San Francisco 49ers, the Battle of the Bay. Week 10 against the Super Bowl champs, the Seattle Seahawks. Week 11 against the Denver Broncos at Mile High. Week 12 against the Cleveland Browns. I'm really hoping that's the Shador game. I'm not going to lie to you. Week 13's the bye week. And then Week 14, thank you for putting the Chargers near the end of our schedule since they choke. Week 15 against the Broncos. Week 16 against Cam Ward and the Titans. Our final home game. I mean, 3 straight home games. I thought that was kind of interesting. 3 straight home games, and then to round it out, on the road against Arizona, and then you round it out up against the Kansas City Chiefs. So after seeing all of those games right there, what's your favorite game on the Raiders schedule? You let me know down below. If you made it this far in the video, you're a real one. Thank you so much for tuning into the Raiders Report. My favorite game on that Raiders schedule, is it the one that Fernando Mendoza starts? Is that an okay answer? I mean, to be cheesy, I don't know how you don't look at Week 1 and get fired up against Miami. It's Week 1. That's the game that all of us are looking forward to. But last year, Week 18, it kind of meant something. I'm hoping it means a little bit something different this year because I would love to be able to get a playoff berth in Kansas City, in Arrowhead. That would be absolutely, positively spectacular, but I feel like the one that I've gotten the most animated about is Week 8 up against Geno Smith. So shout out to all of y'all. And again, I am going to be live here on the Raiders Report. That show is scheduled for 7 p.m. Eastern time. But since I already got the schedule out, I might be live just a little bit earlier.